Welcome. In this video we are going to take a look at how you can create a simple CRUD application with Redbird and FastAPI. So let's create a new script called FastAPI.py, and what we have to do for this to work is to pip install FastAPI. Then we would like to pip install the UV-Corn standard. So UV-Corn standard. Alright, once the installation is complete, we can go back and create our application. So, from FastAPI, we import the FastAPI. From Pydantic, we import the base model. And from Redbird.repos, we import the memory repo. Now we can create our application from the FastAPI, and we create a class called item. This is going to inherit from the base model. We will have an ID, which is an integer, and a name, which is a string. Now we can create our repo, which is from the memory repo, and we say that the model is the item and the ID field is ID. Great. So now we can create our application. So what we will have is a post context route with a description, create an item, and create item is going to be the function name, and the item will be of type item. What we will do is to add the item to the repository. Once it is done, we would like to retrieve the item. So items, the item or the items, and the description will say that we will get all the items. And get items is the function. Item ID is going to be an integer. And we return repo item ID. Alright, now we will have another context route called items, item ID. Oh, hold on, I made a mistake. So the items should return the repo that filter by all. Yeah, and this one should return, but give it the description, get item by ID. And we don't really have any arguments here, but here we will have the get item, pass the ID, and return the repo item ID. This is the correct one. And we would like to have the patch items, and we will give it the item ID, and the description will say to update an item, and we will have the item ID as an integer for the argument, and we say that the repo item ID is equal to values. So we will have a values, which is a dictionary. Alright, and finally, if we want to make it CRUD, we need to have a delete action, and this one is going to have the item ID the description will say that we are going to delete an item based on ID, and delete item is the function name. The item ID is going to be an integer, and we would like to delete the repo item ID. So now, once this is done, what we would like to do is to run the application. So basically, what we would like to do is to go to the console and issue the UV corn main, not main, how did we call it? FastAPI column up dash reload. All right. So if we go to the default context route, we will not see anything. But if we go to the docs, you will see that we have the items get, post, get, delete, and patch. This does not. So get items, create items, and this is also get. All right, then this is okay. Item, and we also have the documentation, and we could create an item. Let's try it out. So here we could go and execute. The response is fine. And if we go to the items, you can see that we have one item in our list. Let's put another item in there. We say that the ID is 1 and it's another string. Let's execute it. If we check, we have another item here. If we go and let's say try to delete an item, let's say the item ID is 0. We execute it, the response is okay. If we refresh it, the ID was removed. So this is how you could create a CRUD application with FastAPI and Redbird, and we would store everything in the memory repository. So that was all. See you in the next one.